What's up, YouTube fam? It's Dark Angel's Journey. Check it. Figured I'd do a bit of a trade review because I realized since last week, and I've been trying to reevaluate myself and get myself back to proper mindset. Slowly getting there, very slowly. Like most, if not almost all of my tape reading setups worked out beautifully. And then yesterday, same thing. I didn't actually get a chance to get in. So today, let's take a look at what happened with ES and the two trades. Only two. One that actually worked relatively well, and one that I exited for some reason I don't recall. So let's go figure out why. Okay? That sounds like a good time. Let's let's get into it. Let's get tiny. I'm sitting outside again. It is gorgeous. Anyway, so um my actual is semi-messy. Need to clean that up. Opening range gap, verify gaps, opening range gap from a different day. So when did that come out? Sunday. This will go through the whole week, I think. This one's just for like the previous day. Anyway, let's run through this analysis really quickly. So, all right. So let's see what we've been doing all day. And thought I said this had some color that would make sense. Time wise, oh, it's airing out. Let's re-add it. You know, I've gone from like tons of indicators to like exactly one. Isn't that crazy? Let's just change everything to orange or whatever. Okay. So let's look at the two sessions. And for really paying attention, we're really working inside of this giant range right here. This is on the 15-minute. Did that. Been working this range this whole time. So, oh, look at how they tapped the 0.7. What time was this? 1:45, 2 o'clock, which is when I took my long. And I had a long set up for here at 10 something. But at 10:30, I don't know. I did something weird. Let's look at the history really quickly, right? Okay, so I took a long from 42.89 and it got it at 10:35. Okay. Let's look at the history here. Right. So 10:29, I had a limit order set 42.89. I had a take profit set at 43.04. So let's see. 10:29, 42.89. Let's see what the heck was going on there. 5 minute. 10:30. Somewhere in here, right? Let's take this off. And let's zoom in on the spot. So I don't know. Honestly, I'm drawing a serious blank as to why I exited. I'm being honest with you. Serious blank. All right, so 10:29. So right around here. So let's to like the 1 minute. What was I thinking? Okay. So somewhere in here, I went long on this candle with the express plan to ride it up to the new week opening gap that was above there. And the new week opening gap in the fair and there's a tiny new week opening gap up here at 42.88 and 42.88.7, just right along right here. And then there's right below it is a opening range gap that I was expecting them to dig into, right? But I was, thinking 4304 or something, because I think there's a fair value gap way up here from the daily. But anyway, so I'm gonna just hit the replay button just so I can be in this general vicinity, and we can drop down to like 15 seconds. So I must have seen something. So 10:29, what was happening here? Okay, we're meandering about. Shakira takes a 42.89. I don't recall actually taking this trade. Honestly, I really don't. Like the afternoon, yes, that was planned. I had a meeting at this time. Why would I get in on here? But I obviously did. I had a limit order. 42.89. Let's see. See, where would that land me? Oh, ew. All the way up here? No wonder I got out. That can't be right. Yeah, I have no idea. Honestly, because 10 o'clock hit, right? And I have time to look at this. I'm waiting for a decent shift, right? It happens here. We get out of this area. We have seriously, I must have been sleepwalking when I made that entry. Fair value gap right here. Order block right up here. Let's on the 15 seconds. So we'll have to like literally look at like say the 5 minutes and see what's in that general vicinity. It's Monday. The heck? Okay. 7 o'clock. Right here. Okay. So this shift right here, order blocks right here. There's a big fair value gap. I'm trying to understand what was happening and why I would have gotten in here. Let's take this off for a hot second so I can see that. Okay, so let's see what's going on inside of this space right here. Let's drop down to, let's just do a cycle. 4. Wow. It's pretty balanced on the 4 minutes. I'm thinking about right after this formed, right? So this definitely no reason not to come back down. Low, lower, low, traded through. So then I'll be thinking about these two green candles here as a bullish breaker. It's on the 2 minutes, so my fair value gap on the 2 minutes was that guy. It's inside the breaker. Let's go to the 1 minute. So I was in a call. I didn't have time to. Must have done something, but my brain is not pulling it up. Volume imbalance, right there. Volume imbalance right there. So now we have this fair value gap. We tapped here. Let's take that off. It's too many colors. And volume imbalance, they came back down. Breaker. We have this fair value gap here. Pull it through. Is it going to hold? Is it going to become an inversion? Oh my God, I just got that. It's an inversion fair value gap. Pull it all the way through. We busted all the way through. We came back. We tapped inside of it. So ICT had like a whole conversation, like 3.5 hours. And he was talking about it as I'm doing this review. And I'm like literally nipping in and doing it. I'm like, oh, okay. That's what he was talking about. I need to rewatch that, by the way. It's really good. So we have an inversion fair value gap. right here where it got created. We traded through it cleanly. We came back and tapped it, doop, doop, and then left. Now let's look at the 30 seconds, see if we have, it's like this would be the entry right here, right? When it came back in here, 15 seconds. And in the 15 second, we have an order block inside of the space too to work with. Look at that. So then take that, say the base of that, and 8 tick stop. I guess it's below this thing right here. And then we write it up to like 48, 88, 75 is the order block. And then the opening range tops out at 42.92, which is what I was aiming for. 42.92 is what it is, would be like, oh, where I want to take some profits right there. But then at the same time, there's a fair value gap all the way up here. I was hoping they would reach into, but they didn't. They stopped here. So from here to here, 52 ticks. And let's see how long it took to get there, right? So bam, that hit it right there. Beautiful setup. Low, lower low, traded through. Breaker right here. They came back into the breaker and took off. How long would this have taken? 30 minutes? Not far, not bad. So what I don't understand is why did I take an entry at 42.89? Because that was at 10. See, that's really messing with my head right here. Oh my goodness, look at that. That was yesterday. Oh, guys. That's why I couldn't remember. I feel like I only took one trade today. That was yesterday. I am tired. Obviously, I took one trade today. One. 500. This, yeah, we talked about that. Oh my God, my brain. Anyway, yes. So this is what I would have taken at 10 o'clock. Because we're still bullish. And if anything, 10 o'clock formed, this first fair value gap would have been where I've been trying to get an entry, like right here. And I would have gotten it here too, even without the breaker, blah, blah, just pure continuation. And so that would have worked still. But anyway, let's do this because I just wanted to zoom in on that spot. And then the afternoon trade. So I need to work on my trade management because I moved my stop up a little bit too far. Okay, so the 2 o'clock time frame came around. I finally had time to actually focus on this, right? So down here is where I took that trade. And if we go into the history, I did a market order, which is stupid. I should have just done my limit order. But at 42.76 is where I got my entry at 206. 276. So like right around there. And then my stop was under here. So let me show you what I saw. 15 seconds. And this was like meandering about a bit. So on the 15 second, we had this shift. Now we have this fair value gap right here. What I should have done in this jump, I took a market order, I think on this candle. And then it came back down some more and then meandered a bit and my stop was under here. So just waiting for a shift. So we'd seen all this, nothing, nothing, nothing. Came back down, we made equal lows. No real shift there, no fair value gap, so nothing to do. And then this formed. I was like, yes, want to go long. I'm understanding that we're in a consolidation, basically. So my entry was there. My stop was like 8 ticks. It was beautiful, you know? So same scenario, right? Technically it's aiming for the equal highs that basically formed up here, right? So the buy side up here is what we're aiming for, buy side. So I'm watching this as it continues on up and we trail up, come back, we continue on up. So I'm slowly trailing my stop up. below the slow right here. And then we get all the way up to, around this area here. So at that point, I'd set my stop to about here. So wherever 40 ticks was from this entry, right? So it went up to 58, but I ended up getting stopped out at, set my stop at 40 ticks so I could make sure I got everything, right? And it stopped me out right here. As it started digging into the opening range gap, it stopped me out right here because I had my stop. I was trailing my stop, and let me put this up to the 1 minute because I was using the 1 minute for the trailing of the stop. Let's come back over here. So as I was watching, and I trailed my stop to just under here, and then this took me out. And then it rolled up and then dropped and then continuing up to take out the buy side right there. I mean, I am perfectly happy if I'm being honest with you because this is the most I've taken. So like I locked in 10 handles, right? Locked it in and then waited to see what was going to happen. So if we look at the profit and loss, right? This is the biggest amount I've done on this paper account so far. And let me see. As we scroll through, so 500, 75, 250, 25, red, 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 red. 337.50, okay? 127.79, 287.50, 162, 375, 312. Like that's my first. Oh, I guess there was a 505 here that one day when I got overzealous. And we scrolled through, lots of red, not as much green. And then on the day when I opened it up, I made 250 that day. And we're at 18,180. So, you know, I'm gonna continue like this, following my process. When I see what I want to see, take it and, let it ride. The stop loss move thing, I really need to work on that because, um, like even this would have taken me out if I need to have rules. So who was I watching? Like Capital or whatever. And I really like watching him. It just seems very, real and authentic and stuff, right? Anyway, so he was talking about the so does have my new opening gap. Let's do this. Right. And once the candle closed above the new opening gap, then there's a potential for, moving the stop up. But, I was managing it in a specific way that would make sure that I left with at minimum 500 because it had already moved well above that, right? Um, but this is definitely like a high resistance. I mean, it took way too long to make just 40 ticks, from here to where I got stopped out here. Come on, man. That was an hour? No way. And then it took an hour, almost 2 hours to get up to that. I mean, it's as expected, because we're in consolidation. So trying to catch these runs, like, look at it. I mean, and that's after having, I was watching the daily candle like a lot. And this thing like ebbed and flowed. It was disgusting. Like at one point of the day, it was right back where it started with big wicks on each side. Not cute, man. Not cute. Um, let's take a quick gander at NASDAQ. 'Cause suspect it was behaving the same way. It's definitely like real peppy the NASDAQ in comparison. Oof, that day looks crap. All right, let's drop down into 15 minutes. Let's take a look at the 10 o'clock on the NASI here. Okay, so just for funsies, these highs right here would have been what I would have been looking for. That buy side right there. Yeah. And I would just be checking to see if there's any fair value gaps. 1, 2, 3. So there's nothing there. Stuff up here I would have been potentially hoping for, but they never reached for it. They're also in consolidation as well. So 9:30 Judas swing, and then all right, so let's take a look at the 10 o'clock time frame here. All right, so Judas swing. Let's see what NASDAQ is working with. I'm going to go into the seconds, so I'm going to hit the replay and come over here so I can see. Okay, so let's get it right. So when 10 o'clock came, nothing. Small fair value gap up here. It's like this is what showed up on the 5 minutes. Could we have gotten a better entry? Right. Let's go to 4. Nothing. 3. There's a little something here. Right here. They traded down into it. An IO Fed entry and left. So 3 minutes gave us a little something. 2 minutes. A little something. 1 minute. So, all right. So on the 1 minute, looks a lot more promising, right? So we took out this low here, fair value gap on the 1 minute, and low, lower low, traded through. I'm looking at the body. Yeah. So this guy, it's the bullish breaker right there. And of course, we've got this order block inside of the breaker. Let's drop down into like a 15-second chart. I'm really loving those. Okay, let's zoom in on what we see down here. So, took it out. Yeah, so the shift, we had this the shift over the short-term high here. The 1 minute entry would have been fine, it looks like. Better, less dealing with this drama right here. And then up's a daisy. It's like second opportunity in this general vicinity here. So took out these guys. Fair value gap right here. They traded, it's a shift. They traded back down into it and then took off again. So let's see if we'd taken this. Let's see what would this one look like? So many ticks we're looking at here. It's not. Oh, sorry about that. I want a 20 tick stop, right? So they'd win about 130. It's not bad. Nasdaq is pretty decent. All right. So similar setup. Let's check the afternoon session and see if we get a similar scenario. Oops. All right, so we're down here. It's 15 minutes. Let's see. So if we drop a fib, so the I right there. So 2 o'clock found us at not at about equilibrium. Let's drop down to the 5 minutes. And let's see. So just like on this end, we had a drop, shift, and consolidation, drop into this fair value gap here. Note that. Okay, on the 5 minute. Right, so let's see. So check the signatures. Minutes. Came back down. 2 minutes. Taking buy side out again. So they give us another opportunity. Shift here, fair value gap. Just take it right there and off to the races. Let's get the 1 minute. Yeah, so this entry right here with this shift, come back, and then this is the one that would have been the best one. And let's take a look at the 15-second. We get more signatures under here for an even more refined entry. So we dropped, came back up, no fair value gap, too high up. This one here, though, that shift, I personally am finding that I would have taken this entry right here and dealt with the chop. Stop loss below here. Let's see, if I took this, even at the top of that thing, 20 ticks, plenty underneath there. Write it up. With the expectation they're going to take out that high at minimum. Let's see. Let's go there and a tick above it. We get that. Get even more than that. So they ran good afternoon run. 211 ticks in hour and a minute. It's not bad. Starting to see and understand these time frames a lot easier. It's a slow process, but it's happening. All right, guys. Just a quick recap. I'll probably, I don't know if I'll make a video tomorrow. I've got like a 3-hour video from ICT I need to get through. So, and I have to take mom to an appointment tomorrow in the afternoon, so I probably can only get in, slip in an AM session trade if it's available. So be safe. Let me know how your journey is going, how the week's shaping up for you, and be safe out here. Shakira out.